Eye is an important sensory organ which provides a vision. The study of eye structure, function, diseases and treatment is called as ophthalmology. Who treats ophthalmology is called as ophthalmologist. Who diagnose only visual acuity is called as optometrist. A pair of eyes are situated in the bony orbits of the skull. Human eye is a spherical in shape. So eyeball is filled with vitreous humor, aqueous humor and lens. It has three layers: outer layer, middle layer and inner layer. Outer layer is fibrous in nature, also called as tunica fibrosa. It has three structures: sclera, conjunctiva and cornea. Sclera is a white portion of the eye which provide the shape of the eye. Inflammation to the sclera is called as scleritis. Conjunctiva is a thin membrane which covers the cornea and inner parts of the eyelids, and it is vascular in nature. Inflammation to the conjunctiva is called as conjunctivitis. So conjunctiva is very important for the lubrication of the eye. So cornea is a thin membrane. It has 5 layers: epithelium, Bowman's layer, stroma, deciment layer and endothelium. And stroma is very important. If anyone wants to remove their spectacles, the surgeons remove some portion of the stroma. The process is called as a Lasik surgery. Lasik is laser in situ keratomyelitis. So inflammation to the cornea is called as keratitis. Many times there is a combination of inflammation is called keratoconjunctivitis, which involves both the conjunctiva and cornea. Then coming to the middle layer is also called as Tunica Vascularis, also called as choroid. You can see in the picture very dark one, dark red one. So anterior part of the choroid has three structures. One is ciliary muscles and ciliary bodies and iris. Ciliary muscles further extends into the suspensory ligaments which hold the lenses, which are very important for the accommodation process. This accommodation process is very necessary for the refraction of the sunlight by the contracting and dilating of the lenses. So ciliary bodies produces aqueous humor, which is important for the cleansing of the lens, and this aqueous humor drains from the trabecular meshwork. If there is an obstacles in the trabecular meshwork, the intraocular pressure will develop that ultimately results in the optic nerve damage, which is a result of the peripheral vision loss, and condition is called as a glaucoma. And the iris is a color part of the eye. The central opening of the eye is called as the pupil. When pupil contracts, the iris dilates, and pupil dilates and iris contracts. And pupil is very important for the controlling of the sunlight into the inner parts of the eye. The lens, when lens get opaque, the condition called as a cataract. So there are two types of surgeries are available. One is MICS and SICS for the artificial insertion of the artificial lens. Then inner layer is called as retina, tunica nervosa. It has series of the cells inside to the outside, that is ganglion cells, bipolar cells, photoreceptor cells and pigment cells. There are two types of photoreceptor cells, rods and cones. Rods are responsible for the tilt vision, also called as scotic vision. The rods produce the pigments like rhodopsin, and the cones are responsible for the color and light vision, also called as the photopic vision. So cones produces three types of pigments, that is perfluorosin, iodopsin and cyanopsin, red, green, yellow color. So if there is any deficiency of these pigments leads to the color blindness, and color blindness is mostly hereditary condition. There are other two conditions, that is age related macular degeneration. Because of the age, so there is a deficiency of these pigments leads to the loss of the central vision. And also in diabetic patients, so the glucose molecules will accumulate in the fundus, and that leads to the diabetic retinopathy. There is a damage in the retina. The central portion of the retina is called as macula, and the central pit of macula is called as the fovea. Fovea is very rich in the cone cells. Light coming from the object fall on the retina. So after passing through the conjunctiva, cornea, aqueous humor, lens and vitreous humor, this light initiate the process of dissociation of the photoreceptor pigments rhodopsin into opsin and retinol, and this opsin went to structural changes, and this opsin initiate the impulses and then transmitted to the visual cortex of the brain, and impulses were analyzed in the brain and image is formed on the retina. In normal people, images fall on the retina. If the images fall before the retina is called myopia or nearsightedness. If the images fall behind the retina is called hyperopia or farsightedness. This visual correction can be done by the keeping glasses. So visual acuity can be diagnosed by the Snellen chart. Now let us practice some of the questions. The question number 1, retina is more sensitive at macula, optic disc, fovea, periphery. So retina is more sensitive at fovea. Okay, macula because it has all cone cells. So macula is the center portion of the retina, optic disc. So that is the termination of eye. So answer is the fovea. Question number 2. Blind spot in eye is placed where? So blind spot is where there is no cones and rods. The answer is C. There are neither rods or cones. The depression in the retina of eye which lodges only the cones. Options are blind spot, fovea, fenestra, red nuclei. The answer is the fovea. Fovea is a very rich in cones. And the question number 4, in the chemistry of the vision, what is the photosensitive substances? The photosensitive substances are 4, rhodopsin, iodopsin, cyanopsin and perphosin. So answer is the B, rhodopsin. The shape of the eye lens is changed by pupil, iris, optic nerve, ciliary muscles. So pupil and iris is controls the entry of the light into the inner parts of the eye, and optic nerve is transmit the nerve impulses to the brain. The ciliary muscles and the suspensory ligaments will changes the shape eye lenses shape. The process is called accommodation. Question number 6. Cornea transplant in humans is almost accepted because cornea is avascular. It doesn't have any blood vessels. So that's the reason it can transplant to anybody. So answer is the D. It has no blood supply. Question number 7. What it is difficult to differentiate between red, green color objects in the dark? So options are rods work well only during the time, rods work well only during the night time, cones work well only during the daytime, cones work well only during the night time. So cone cells are responsible for the color vision. So cones are very active in the daytime. So cones work well only during the daytime. That's the reason in the dark, in the night time, we cannot differentiate red, green colors objects. So answer is the C. Question number 8. Path taken in the eyeball by light ray is. So light enters from conjunctiva, cornea, then aqueous humor, then lens, vitreous humor and retina. So the answer is a D. Conjunctiva, cornea, aqueous humor, lens, vitreous humor and retina. Question number 9. Order of layers in the retina. So as we discussed, so there are 4 layers of the cells, that is ganglion cells, bipolar cells, photoreceptor cells, pigment cells. The answer is A. Question number 10. A list of steps involved in the mechanism of vision is given below in a random order. Give the correct order. So 1. Neural impulses are analyzed and image is formed on retina is recognized by visual cortex. 2. Membrane permeability changes. 3. Ganglion cells are excited. 4. Bipolar cells are depolarized. 5. Impulses are transmitted by the optic nerves. 6. Potential differences are generated in the photoreceptor cells. 7. Light energy causes a change in the shape of rhodopsin into opsin and retinol. 8. Structure of opsin is changed. So the answer is a D. So first, light energy causes a change in the shape of rhodopsin into opsin and retinol, and this opsin structurally changes. Then membrane permeability changes. Then it leads to the potential differences are generated in the photoreceptor cells. Then bipolar cells are depolarized and ganglion cells are excited. Then impulses are transmitted by the optic nerve, that is second cranial nerve. Then the neural impulses are analyzed and image is formed on the retina is recognized by the visual cortex. So answer is a D. Question number 11. Which of the following is associated with the lens? So Lasik is associated with cornea. Glaucoma is an anterior chamber by the ciliary gland aqueous humor. Cataract is associated with the lens. Retinopathy is associated with retina. Question number 12. Eyeball consists of 3 layers and it encloses. So as we discussed, the three layers are filled with the lens, aqueous humor and vitreous humor. Answer is B. Question number 13. Photosensitive compound in human eye is made up of opsin and retinol, transducin and retinine, guanosine and retinol, and D. Opsin and retinol. So answer is a D. Opsin and retinol. Question number 14. The transparent lens in human eye is held in its place by ligaments attached to the ciliary bodies, ligaments attached to the iris, smooth muscles attached to the iris, smooth muscles attached to the ciliary bodies. So answer is the ligaments attached to the ciliary bodies. Those are suspensory ligaments. Question number 15. Which one of the following statement is not correct? Retinol is light absorbing portion of the visual photopigment. Correct? In retina, the rods have the photopigment rhodopsin. Correct? Retinol is a derivative of vitamin C. Wrong. Retinol is a derivative of vitamin A. Rhodopsin is a purplish red protein present in the rods only. Right. So the correct answer is C. Retinol is a derivative of vitamin C is not correct answer. 16. Which of the following statement is correct? Cornea consists of dense matrix of collagen and it is most sensitive portion of the eye. Cornea is an external, transparent and protective proteinaceous covering of the eyeball. Cornea consists of dense connective tissue of elastin and can repair itself. Cornea is a convex, transparent layer which is very vascularized. So answer is the 1. Cornea consists of dense matrix of collagen and its most sensitive portion of the eye. Question number 17. Which of the following statement is true? Blind spot image is formed here. Wrong. Fovea, no visual activity is present. So fovea image is present. Cornea helps to hold the lens. Wrong. Iris, visible colored portion of the eye. Right. So the answer is a D. Iris, visible colored portion of the eye. Thank you. Please subscribe for more updates.